Imagine standing before a temple lost to time, its stones whispering secrets older than history itself. You trace your fingers over footprints, massive, impossible footprints, carved deep into rock, each one stretching over 3 feet long. These aren't human. They belong to something or someone colossal, a being that could tower over a 6-story building. This is the story of Ain Dara, a place where myths feel real, where giants may have walked and where the past refuses to stay silent. Around 1300 BC, the Soroites built the Ain Dara temple in what is now Syria, crafting it from mud bricks and basalt, guarded by fierce lions and sphinxes. For centuries it lay hidden beneath olive trees and dust, forgotten until 1955, when a farmer stumbled upon a massive stone lion buried in the earth. What archaeologists uncovered next shook the world. This wasn't just any Iron Age shrine. It mirrored the biblical Temple of Solomon with eerie precision. The same 3-room layout, the same towering stairway, the same sacred niche at the back called the Holy of Holies. Scholars counted 33 architectural similarities, but unlike Solomon's lost temple, Ain Dara held something extraordinary. Those giant footprints. One footprint greets you at the entrance, another lies 30 feet away, and a third waits just before the innermost chamber. No human could make such strides. Were they symbolic, meant to show a god like Balhada, the storm deity, or Ishtar, goddess of lions, entering their sacred home? Or do they hint at something older, something stranger? In Genesis, a whisper speaks of the Nephilim, giants born from gods and mortals. Could Ain Dara preserve their memory? To the ancients, these footprints weren't just carvings. They were proof that something sacred, something immense had claimed this place. But tragedy struck. In 2018, a Turkish airstrike reduced Ain Dara to rubble. Looters stole the stone lion that sparked its discovery. Now, only photos, scattered stories, and those impossible footprints remain. Who walked here 3,000 years ago? A god? A myth made flesh? Or something we were never meant to remember? Now picture a gate so massive it dwarfs every other ancient entryway in Israel. 13 feet thick, built from stones 6 feet wide, it guarded Gath, the biblical home of Goliath, the giant felled by David. For years, archaeologists sifted through the dusty hill of Tel Safi in southern Israel, suspecting it was Gath. In 2015, they found the gate, built in the 11th century BC, the very era of David and Goliath. Its scale was staggering. Mud brick walls, perfectly plastered, rose from deep trenches, enclosing a city twice the size of ancient Jerusalem at its peak. Nearby, they uncovered an iron smelting facility, a temple, and rooms built for war. Gath wasn't just big, it was a fortress ready for battle. Goliath's biblical height, nearly 8 feet, has puzzled scholars for centuries. But archaeologist Jeffrey Chadwick offered a haunting theory. Goliath's height wasn't literal, but architectural. The gate's walls measured exactly the same. Was Goliath a metaphor for Gath's unbreakable strength? No giant skeletons were found, but the stones tell their own story. They echo the Cyclopean walls of ancient Mycenae, so massive that later Greeks believed only one-eyed giants could have built them. Even Aristotle thought the Cyclopes invented such stonework. Philistine DNA from nearby Ashkelon links to ancient Greece, suggesting Gath's builders brought their myths and masonry across the sea. And then a pottery shard surfaced, inscribed with names eerily close to Goliath. The city fell in 830 BC to King Hazael of Aram, its walls buried until now. If the gate was real, could Goliath have been too? Now journey to Bashan in modern-day Syria and Jordan, where legends speak of a king named Og, the last of the biblical giants. His bed, a massive iron slab, was said to be 13 feet long and 6 feet wide. The Bible claims Og ruled 60 walled cities, his kingdom tied to the Rephaim, giants remembered as warrior kings and gods of the dead. When Moses led the Israelites to Edrei, they didn't just defeat Og, they erased his people. Only his bed remained. In 1918, near Amman, archaeologist Gustav Dahlmann found a dolmen tomb with dimensions eerily close to Og's legendary bed, a resting place for a being over 13 feet tall. Thousands of these megalithic tombs dot Bashan, their capstones heavier than Stonehenge's, some weighing over 50 tons. Who built them? Some say they're relics of a forgotten cult honoring the dead with monuments. Others believe the Rephaim themselves, giant kings turned divine ancestors, rest beneath these stones. The truth lies buried, silent under rock and time. High in the Golan Heights, a mystery unfolds across the windswept plains. From the ground, it's just crumbling basalt stones. But from the sky, it's a breathtaking bullseye. 5 concentric circles spanning 500 feet, built from 40,000 tons of rock. Locals call it Gilgal Rephaim, the Wheel of Giants. Dated to 3000 BC or older, it's one of the oldest structures in the Near East, its walls rising 8 feet high, a burial cairn at its center, like the heart of a forgotten machine. No homes, no weapons, no clear purpose, just stones, perfectly aligned. Some say it was a site for sky burials, where vultures claimed the dead. Others link it to ancient solstices, though recent research questions that. The Bible calls the Rephaim a race of terrifying giants. Could they have built this wheel as a tomb, a throne, or a map for gods looking down? Its Hebrew name, Wheel of Giants, feels like a clue. Whoever built it left no words, only stones that whisper of a world we've lost. In Lebanon's Bekaa Valley, night falls over the ruins of Baalbek, where 3 stones, each heavier than a jumbo jet, form the Trilithon, the foundation of a temple that defies explanation. The Romans called this place Heliopolis, crowning it with Jupiter's grandest temple, but the platform beneath is older, built from 750-ton blocks hauled 800 meters from a quarry. Even for Rome, masters of engineering, this feels excessive. The quarry holds more mysteries. The stone of the pregnant woman, 1,000 tons, lies half buried. Nearby, the stone of the south weighs 1,242 tons, and in 2014, a 1,650-ton giant was found, still fused to the earth. Medieval tales claim Nimrod, Noah's great-grandson and a mighty hunter, sent giants to build Baalbek for the sun god Baal, rivaling the Tower of Babel. Others say Cain built it to hide from God, or Solomon enslaved genies to lay the stones for the Queen of Sheba. In 1860, Scottish traveller David Urquhart stood before these blocks, his mind paralysed by their impossibility. Modern scholars suggest winches and rollers, but why use megaton stones in a remote valley? Was it engineering or a monument to challenge the heavens? These places, Ain Dara's footprints, Gath's gates, Og's bed, the Wheel of Giants, Baalbek's stones, carry stories too big for history alone. Were they built by giants, gods, or mortals desperate to touch the divine? Each site feels like a piece of a puzzle we're not meant to solve, a whisper of a world where the impossible walked among us. The stones remain, daring us to wonder, who were these giants and why do their shadows still haunt us? Which of these mysteries calls to you? Share your thoughts, and let's keep chasing the truths buried in stone.